9 years ago, or thereabouts, I was sat in a courtroom supporting victims of domestic abuse. I saw firsthand how our systems of justice were failing women and girls when they were at their most vulnerable. This was my first motivation to enter politics, and it's a privilege to stand here and speak today in this place in honour of all the women and girls who have faced abuse, violence, misogyny, harassment, stalking, spiking, non-consensual image abuse and everyday sexism.
So every single day, 3,000 crimes of violence against women and girls are recorded. That's 3,000 acts of harm inflicted on women in our society. And yet, according to the End Violence Against Women Coalition, the true figure is likely far higher, as so many victims simply just never come forward. 1 in 12 women will become a victim of these crimes each year, and it's estimated that 1 in 20 people are perpetrators annually, although again, the actual number is thought to be significantly greater. These figures are not just statistics, they represent lives. Lives disrupted, confidence eroded, and safety stolen. Violence against women and girls is horrifyingly prevalent in our society. Too many women feel unsafe walking down their own streets, in their homes, in their workplaces, and online. The reality of this violence has been profoundly felt in my constituency. In 2023, Emma Pattison and her 7-year-old daughter were brutally killed by her husband. There were warning signs of coercive, controlling behaviour, but they were not picked up on. The loss of Emma and Letty Pattison should serve as a reminder of how domestic abuse can escalate rapidly, and we must be ready to listen to women and pick up on these signs of abuse. We must learn from such tragedies and act decisively to prevent others. Our criminal justice system is failing women. Survivors are not supported as they should be, and far too often perpetrators evade justice. Online abuse, workplace harassment and daily intimidation are all too common, and they reveal a society that continues to let women down. We need a whole system approach to tackle this issue. Criminal justice partners, government bodies, voluntary organisations and industry must come together to improve early identification, risk assessment and the provision of support for survivors. And most importantly, when there are reports of any sort of violence or sexual misconduct, they must be taken seriously.
And I've learnt, firstly, how hard it is for women to get away once an abuser has got them in their sights, how very, very difficult it is for them to escape. And the second thing I've learned, and this has been highlighted not least by the member who just spoke, is how abuse can be perpetrated by some of the institutions in this country, HMRC, the financial system, the family courts, and those are the things that I have learned. But since my eyes have been open to the extent of domestic abuse in my constituency, I have really come to admire the member for Birmingham Yardley for all the work that she's done on this issue, both before she came to this place as a backbencher and now as a minister. And I wanted to urge her not to be deterred from the incredible work that she's been doing by the awful experience she's had this week. And I've heard further examples of safety equipment, including panic alarms, being removed from vulnerable victims' houses who remain under the threat of being attacked. And I'm talking about very credible threats to life. And I was again informed that this was due to budgeting reasons. I've written to the Minister about this particular case, and I really hope that she will make time for a meeting with me to discuss this particular case. And the cases that are being brought to my office have shown the immediate impact that Home Office cuts to policing are having on the safety and well-being of vulnerable victims. Now, in many cases involving crimes such as rape and murder, victims and bereaved families do not attend trial to avoid further trauma. It is common for victims of violent crime to be advised by mental health professionals that a transcript of proceedings would aid their healing and help them process their experiences. In the last Parliament, I introduced an amendment to the Victims and Prisoners Bill, which, had it passed, would have made provision for victims of crime to be able to access a transcript of their trial free of charge. And currently, victims can apply to the Crown Court for a free transcript, but in many cases, like in the case of my constituents, this request is rejected.